Hi everyone, this is Sagar Shah and I want to talk to you about the first course that we have launched on ChessRanga, Caro Kann from scratch. The course has been received really well and a lot of you have watched it, bought it, and I want to in this video just show you what the course is all about. It is 6 hours 36 minutes including all the hints and everything. As you know, it's a very interactive format that is there. So in a way, whenever you have to make the move on the board, you'll get feedback and so on. So it's very cool in that sense. And I just wanted to show you that if you go to the website here, the link that is given, you can buy it for 36 rupees only. That was because it was launched on my 36th birthday, and we intend to keep it at 36 always so that people can watch it. And there are 39 reviews right now, with many of them being 5-star reviews, and a lot of interesting reviews are here which I went through, and I have also replied to many of them, so you can check that out. And then we go to the actual content which is there. You will see that there is chapter 1, which is classical variation, that is introduction, pawn structure. So just so that you know what the classical variation is, I just will show it to you here. It's e4 c6 d4 d5, and when the knight comes out to c3, it's the classical variation. So I cover it in great depth. You will also see that if we go to the course, that there's also emphasis on pawn structure. So if you go to the second one, which is the pawn structure, we talk about, like, if there are no pieces on the board, what will white do, what will black do, and you have to make moves on the board, and to learn it. So it's very cool, the entire technology that is used. And then we go to chapter 3, which is reaching the main position. And then it's like white doesn't go h4. There is test time. So just to show where this is heading, uh, so here you will see that, for example, d takes e4, knight takes e4, bishop f5, knight g3, bishop g6, and now focused quite a lot on games where white doesn't go h4 in this position, because that's what you will face many times at a lower level, where white quickly develops the knight, brings out the bishop, and castles. So that's one that I've covered with tests and everything. And then as we move on to our next chapter, which is the sixth one here, when white does go h4. So like here, when white does go h4, so that is covered in depth here. And then we go to the main position. I don't want to reveal too much, but then classical variation, we also have a pawn structure here, mark the weaknesses. And then we go to, and by the way, there are all these videos that are there. So for example, here, it's time for you to look at a mod. So the videos play here. The next one is classical variation model game. Then there is also advanced theory in it. Then there's classical variation model game, one more that's there, model game in bishop d2 and bishop f4. So as we go deeper into the lines over there, then we have classical variation tests. Then we go to advanced variation. So once this is covered, by the way, we go to the main position, which happens after h4, h6, knight f3, knight d7, h5. This is the main classical variation. And then we spend time on bishop d2 and bishop f4, and all these complications. I've tried to break it down as much as I can. So sorry, here is the board. So just so that you know, h4, h6, and here basically bishop d2 and bishop f4, and try to break this down as much as I can. So that ends the classical variation part. Then we go to advanced variation, and then in this, it was quite tough to teach it at a very basic level, but I've tried to do it. We are going for the move bishop f5 here, and one of the main lines for white is knight f3 and bishop e2 and castles. That's the short variation that's covered in depth. In fact, I've given two ideas. One is to go like slow with knight d7 and play this position. The other is to just go very direct with the move c5. So that's advance. Bishop f5. There's also coverage on knight c3. That's a very sharp line with white going really aggressive. Then this very aggressive line g4 is covered. Then a very aggressive line h4, h5, and then white could go bishop g5, or white could also play the move bishop d3. In fact, bishop g5 is after c4, e6, knight c3, and bishop g5 later. So this, all of this is covered in the advanced variation. So if you look at the chapters, then it'll go from chapter 12, where we start with introduction on 11. 12 is pawn structure, then the direct way, that is knight f3, bishop e2, then h4, h5 section. These are long ones. These are very much in detail. And then we eventually, after 18 chapters, go into the exchange variation, which is here. So if I go to the exchange variation, ED, and here we also go into the introduction, pawn structure, and then we talk about bishop d3, knight c6, c3 is one of the main lines, and we also talk about the pan of Botvinnik with c4. So this is majorly what is covered here in this entire course. These three lines. There are also some different lines. People told me that, you should maybe spend some time on covering knight f3, knight c3. That's two knights. And there's also the need to cover the alien gambit, which I haven't done it yet. But mainly, I think the alien gambit comes here, where you sack a knight. And it's quite popular at a lower level. But in our what we are going to play, perhaps it does not come. But we'll try to see if we can incorporate all of these later. The best part about this entire ChessRanga website is that we can add things. If there's something wrong, I can update it and I can improve upon it. So there are 25 chapters in all for now. And yeah, I think it's a very useful tool. It's also very decently priced. And the idea is that we can make it accessible to a lot of people. And we can also try and do it with many strong players and make this a good website for you to learn and improve. So my request is, if you can use it, try it, give us feedback. I would be very grateful for that. Thank you all for showing so much love and support. And I wish you great time with the Caro Kann opening.